Have you ever hired someone who looked absolutely perfect on paper? I mean, the resume was incredible, but then they just didn't deliver? Yeah, you are not alone. Today, we're going to unpack a powerful new framework that looks way past the resume to find what really creates technical impact. So if you're building a team, you're going to want to stick around. This could change how you hire.
It's such a classic hiring puzzle, right? You bring on a candidate with this stellar resume, a certified genius, but then they just become an island. All that knowledge is there, but it doesn't elevate the team. It's like their brilliance is locked in a box. So what on earth is the missing piece?
And this right here gets to the absolute heart of it. You see, true technical expertise isn't just a static library of facts that someone has memorized. No, it's an active, living force. It's the drive to develop, to use, and this is the crucial part, to share that knowledge. You're not trying to hire a walking encyclopedia. You're looking for a multiplier, someone who makes the entire team smarter.
All right, so let's start our climb up this ladder of expertise. We begin at level 1, the responder. Now, I want you to think of this as the bedrock. It's the essential, absolutely non-negotiable foundation that every single solid technical professional has to have.
So, a responder is that person you can always count on. You ask a question, you get an accurate answer, they can break down complicated ideas. But do you see the pattern here? It's all on demand. They're a fantastic, solid foundation, but they are fundamentally reactive. They wait for the question to come to them.
Okay, so how do you actually spot a strong responder in an interview? This question right here is your litmus test. A great answer doesn't just show they know the thing, it proves they can translate it, that they can share that knowledge clearly and accurately when they're asked. It's a direct test of that reactive, on-demand expertise.
All right, time to climb up to level 2, and this is where the game really starts to change. We're shifting from being reactive to being proactive. This is the world of the proactive contributor.
You see, a proactive contributor, they don't sit around waiting to be asked. It's like they're always scanning the horizon, looking for ways to jump in and help. They don't just put a bandage on a problem, they dig in to find the root cause. It all boils down to one word: initiative. They're actively hunting for chances to create value.
And this question? Oh, it gets right to the heart of what it means to be a level 2. You're not just asking about their ability, you're asking about their instinct. You want to hear about that moment when they saw a need and decided to step in, completely unprompted. That choice to act, that's the real separator.
So let's just break this down, because this is the fundamental leap. A responder is a reliable resource. And hey, that is incredibly valuable. We need that. But a proactive contributor, they're a value creator. They shift the entire team from just answering questions to actively finding new opportunities. That's a massive, massive jump in impact.
Okay, moving on up to level 3, the authority. Now at this stage, a person's expertise has become a kind of gravitational force. They don't have to look for problems anymore. The really tough challenges just find their way to them. Think of an authority like this. They have such deep, proven mastery that they basically become the team's North Star. When the gnarliest problems pop up, all roads lead to them. But here's the evolution. They're not just solving the problems themselves anymore. They're actively mentoring and advising, lifting the skill level of everyone else.
With this question, you're looking for one thing: scale. You want a story where their individual expertise created ripples across the whole pond. You're not looking for a single bug fix. You want to hear how their knowledge had a real, tangible, positive impact on a major project, a product, or even the company's bottom line.
And here we are at the very top of the ladder. Level 4, the advocate. This is where expertise transforms. It goes from being tactical to being truly strategic. This person doesn't just work in the system. They work to change the system itself for the better.
I mean, the advocate is just operating on a whole other level. They're not just playing the game anymore, they're trying to change the rules. They see a better way forward, a new technology, a smarter process, and they become its champion. They build support, they persuade stakeholders, and they connect deep technical work directly to the big picture business goals. They don't just join the conversation, they change it.
Let's be clear, this isn't just a technical question. This is a leadership question. You're listening for their ability to build a movement, to influence, to persuade, to navigate resistance, and to rally people around a new idea. This is what separates the brilliant doers from the true organizational game changers.
Okay, so we've walked through the 4 levels. That's the theory. But how do you actually use this stuff? Right, let's move from theory to practice and open up the toolkit for finding these people out in the real world.
So when you're in that interview, think of this slide as your filter. Are you getting these rich, specific stories with real, measurable impact, or is it all just kind of vague and general? You're looking for those stories of initiative and influence. The big red flags? Answers that are purely reactive, or worse, they can't connect their technical work to any kind of bigger benefit.
And hey, don't just take their word for it. You got to make them show you. Let's move beyond just asking questions and really put their expertise to the test. Challenge them with a mini presentation. Throw a real-world case study at them. See how they do in a role play where they have to explain something complex to a non-expert. These practical tests give you undeniable proof of what they can really do.
Okay, this next point is absolutely crucial. Probably the most important takeaway from this whole thing. The goal is not, I repeat, not to hire a level 4 advocate for every single job. That would be a disaster. For a junior role, a brilliant level 1 responder who has a ton of potential is a perfect hire. The real art here is matching the candidate's level to what the role actually needs. It's about finding the right puzzle piece.
All right, so let's wrap this up. What are the big takeaways? First, look for behaviors, not just buzzwords on a resume. Second, evaluate how well they share knowledge, not just what they know. Third, figure out where they are on this ladder right now, but also think about their potential. And finally, the big one, match them to the role your team actually needs. And I want to leave you with one final thought, a question that turns this whole framework back on ourselves. Because this isn't just for hiring, it's for developing the team you already have. Who's that solid responder on your team you could challenge to be more proactive? Who's the quiet authority you could empower to become a real advocate? You know, your next game changer might already be sitting on your team, just waiting for the chance to climb. And that's where the real transformation begins. Thanks for tuning in.
Hi, today we're talking about a critical interview topic, assessing technical expertise. A lot of candidates think this is just about listing tools, certifications, or years of experience, but interviewers are actually looking for something much deeper than that. Technical expertise is about how you use your knowledge, how clearly you can explain complex ideas, and how often you help others solve problems. Strong candidates don't just know things, they actively share what they know and make the people around them better. In interviews, this usually shows up through behavioral questions like, tell me about a time you explained a technical concept to someone non-technical, or describe a situation where your technical knowledge helped resolve a problem. What matters most is how you tell the story. As you move up in expertise, interviewers want to hear that you don't just respond when asked. You proactively offer insights, identify root causes, and become a trusted resource on your team. At higher levels, technical experts advocate for better tools, better processes, and smarter ways of working, even when change requires effort or persuasion. The best way to answer these questions is by using the STAR method. Explain the situation, describe your task, walk through the action you took, and clearly share the result. Focus on impact, whether that's improved efficiency, fewer errors, better decisions, or stronger collaboration. So remember, when you're asked about technical expertise, don't just talk about what you know. Show how you share knowledge, solve real problems, and create value for the organization. That's what truly separates good candidates from great ones. Thanks for watching, and tune in next time for more tips right here on Ace the Job Interview. Take care, and good luck with your next interview.